and good evening. Hello, and welcome. We are here for the Sitting with My Father 30-Day Prayer Challenge. I am Tamika, the leader of God on the Rise Ministry, which is a prophetic deliverance ministry leading believers back to the heart of God in deeper relationship. We are here because we are spending 30 days of focused time in prayer with the Lord, sitting with our Father, with the goal of growing in relationship and going deeper with Him in this brand new year, 2025. So I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm so excited that you guys are interested, that you guys are working on getting closer with the Lord this year. And this is a goal for you as well. So today is actually day 9. However, we're going to call it day 8 for this video because yesterday I was not able, unfortunately, to get on here and do the video for yesterday. So I'm going to do it right now. So this is going to be for day 8. And then I'm going to come back on a little bit later and do a separate video for day 9, which will be today which will be anyway, we'll figure that out. But I'm gonna come back and do a separate video. I'm sorry. So day 9 will be today. I'm gonna be doing this separate video so that if people are watching this later, they'll be able to separate it. Or if you decide to go back and rewatch this, it'll still be separated and neat, and everybody be able to follow along. So for today, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Our top prayer point is I accept the invitation. Jesus, I accept the invitation. So what invitation are we talking about? So glad you asked. So let's go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. And then the KJV version, it says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me." Now, this is Jesus talking. But why does he have to knock at the door of our lives? Why doesn't he just come on in, sit down, pull up a chair and chat? Well, it's because the number one thing is because sin separates us from God. Sin separates us from Jesus. So we have to be reunited with him. So he is giving us an invitation to come and be reunited with him. Now, there was the original sin in the Garden of Eden. Most people know the story where Adam and Eve disobeyed God. They sinned and they were separated from God. They were actually kicked out of the Garden of Eden so that they would not go back and solidify their sin by eating from the wrong tree or eating from the tree of life. So because of their sin, now all of mankind, from the day we are born, are separated from God. But Jesus coming to the earth in human form is what rectified that, is what fixed that. So now we have the opportunity to now be reunited with him. However, now we have a choice, though. We have a choice to be reunited with him. We have a choice to get intimate with him. We have a choice to be in relationship with him. So this is why he's inviting us. He's knocking at the door. Hey, can I come in? I would love to come in. If you open the door, if you hear my voice, if you hear me calling and open the door, I will come into you and I will sit with you. So we're going to break that down a little bit and see what he means here. Now, what we are actually doing when we make the choice to allow Jesus to come in, we are making the choice to give him access. We're making the choice to give him access to us, to our lives, to everything about us. Okay. Because like I said, sin separates us from God. In a natural relationship, if you just think about a natural relationship, we do the same thing. We make a choice to, if we want to let that particular person in, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a intimate relationship like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the relationship, it first starts with a choice to let that person have personal access to us, to let that person have intimate access to us, right? We make a choice. We make that choice after we've spent some time with that person. We've got to know a little bit about them. And we know that we want that this is somebody we want to be more intimate with, closer to, right? So when Jesus says in the scripture, I will sup with him, It's like inviting someone to dinner at your home. Now, most of us, I don't think we'd invite strangers to just come into our homes, right? I know I probably wouldn't. Just I'm a very private person, um, but we invite people into our personal space because we've made a choice that we want to get closer to that person. We want to get to know that person, right? It's a personal act and it communicates intimacy or a desire for intimacy. It communicates a desire for close personal relationship, right? People don't invite strangers into their homes because this is an intimate thing. It's about fellowship, it's about communication in a personal and private space. So Jesus provides, he's giving us an invitation to come into that personal and private space with us. And he's also doing this because Jesus provides rest for his people. This is an invitation also for us to come into his rest. Now, the world that we live in, we live stressful lives. There's a lot in the world that is pulling on our attention all the time, pulling just there's a lot going on. It's easy to get stressed out, it's easy to get distracted, it's easy to be confused, it's just easy to get off track, right? But Jesus invites us into this place of peace because he provides rest for his people. Sin causes not only separation, but it also causes confusion. It causes unrest. It causes unrest to us physically. It can even make us sick. Sin can make us sick because it causes unrest in our physical bodies. But it also causes mental unrest, stressed out, anxious, worried, all these things, depression, so many things. But Jesus comes in with peace. And he tells us it's a peace that we won't be able to find anywhere except in him. It's a peace that quiets our restless and anxious minds, and it's a peace that comforts our souls. So, the only way or one way that he does this is by spending that intimate time with us, intimate times of refreshing. He comes in, he refreshes our souls. He pours back into us what we've poured out into the world. He comes in and he refills us. And he does that through just his presence. Okay. Now, why are we talking about this while we're talking about, because the category we're on right now is hearing God, right? Well, let me give you this real quick example first before I get into that. So let's go to Mark chapter 6, verses 30 and 31. I'm going to give you an example of Jesus spending that intimate time of refreshing um, with us. So it says, the apostles returned to Jesus from their ministry tour and told him all they had done and all that they had taught. Then Jesus said, let's go off by ourselves to a quiet place and rest a while. He said this because there were so many people coming and going that Jesus and his apostles didn't even have time to eat. So he knew they were tired. They had just come back from ministering in many different places. They were on a tour. They were going to many cities. They were teaching. They were working. They were tired. They were mentally drained. They were physically tired. And Jesus knew that they needed to be poured into. He knew they needed to hear encouragement and words of refreshment from him. They needed to hear words of peace to quiet and comfort their minds from all that they had just done. So here in Mark chapter 6, that was the New Living Translation, by the way, he's inviting them, come on, let's go off by ourselves. Let's go rest for a little bit. Come over here and just sit with me. Come rest with me. Let's just have this quiet time, this intimate time. So Jesus' invitation in Revelation 3:20 was also an invitation to abide. It was an invitation to come close. Now, what does it mean to abide? It means to dwell in a place. It means to remain in a place or to stay there permanently. So Jesus is inviting us to come, not just come into his presence and not just come talk to him, just visit with him one time and just never come back. He's inviting us to come in and permanently stay with him, to permanently hear from him, to permanently, always and forever, be comforted by him, get peace from him, be calmed by him, brought back to a state of peace. After all the confusion and anxiety and everything going on in the world, we can pull away and have that quiet time with Jesus and have him speak to us. have him pour into us. And this is what hearing from him is about, because he has encouragement. He knows exactly what we need. He knows us intimately. Um, and the closer you are, I talked about this before, the closer you are to someone, the better you hear. So talking, this is how it's connected, that intimate time and hearing from God. The closer you are, the better you hear. If I was standing a mile away from this camera right now, y'all wouldn't be able to hear anything. Y'all wouldn't be able to see me, much less hear anything that I'm saying. But because I'm in close proximity to my phone right now, you guys can see me, you guys can hear me clearly. It's the same with God, it's the same with Jesus. We have to get closer to be able to hear him better. If we're farther away, we can't hear clearly. And we talked about how God is interested in talking to everyone. God created us all to be his family, to be his children. He wants to have close personal relationship with every single person on this planet. Now, will every single person on this planet choose him? No. But the ones that do, he wants that intimacy with us. He wants us to hear him. He wants to speak to us. So the closer you are, the better you hear. And we spend time with him in the secret place. Now, the secret place doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's just anywhere you can get along with him. My secret place was my car at one point in life, because I'm a mom of six. I don't get a lot of quiet time in my house, so I spend time in my car. But that's, for me, that's a secret place. At one point in time, I had a closet that I would go sit and pray in, and there was nothing really special about the closet. It was just a place that I could get away and be able to focus and abide with the Lord. Psalm 91, verse 1, it says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." A secret place is a shelter. It's a protection. This is the Hebrew definition of secret place. If you look it up in the Bible concordance, it tells us that when the secret place is referenced in the scripture, that's what it means. It means a place of shelter. It means a place of protection. And in the secret place with the Lord, spending that intimate time with him, hearing from him, talking with him, this is a place of protection, because he'll protect your hearing. He'll teach you to hear from him. He'll teach you to recognize his voice. He'll teach you to know when it's him that's speaking to you. But he'll also protect your hearing, because we have an enemy, the devil, who also wants a voice in our lives. He also wants to have influence in our lives. He wants to be able to speak things to us and influence us in that way. So God will train us in that secret place to not be deceived by our enemy, and he'll protect our hearing. So there is protection in that secret place of hearing from God. So that's all I have today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a separate video for day 9. And just as a reminder, our prayer point for day 8, which is today, is ask God to help you accept the invitation from Jesus, according to Revelation 3:20. So please go back and listen to these scriptures that I gave, kind of meditate on them, think about them. Ask God to give you a revelation on them. I can sit here and I can break down scriptures all day long, and that would help. But when you get a personal revelation on something from the Lord himself, there's nothing like it, because God knows us personally. He knows us intimately. He knows exactly what we need to hear. And you might hear the same scripture for months, and you kind of get it but don't really get it. But then you hear it that one time, or God gives you that one revelation, and all of a sudden it just clicks and everything falls into place, and it makes sense, and it becomes real to you, and you're able to use it and apply it in your life. So ask God for that revelation. Show me what it looks like to accept your invitation to be intimate with you. All right, that's it for day 8. I'll see you in a little bit for day 9.